Andrey Arshavin, a name that once lit up stadiums across Europe, capturing the attention of millions with his skill, flair, and effortless brilliance.
Played back for Arshavin! 2-1!
Andrey is a classy player.
He captivated people in an unusual way. He was a strange, charismatic, and inflammatory character.
The next, he seemed to vanish without a trace.
It looks like the time is finally up for Andrey Arshavin and Arsenal.
When Andrey Arshavin arrived at Arsenal in 2009, he was hailed as the savior, the man who would bring a touch of magic to a squad desperate for some creativity and firepower. Arsenal fans fell in love with this little Russian almost instantly. From his memorable debut to his stunning 4-goal performance at Anfield, Arshavin delivered moments that will live forever in Arsenal history. But it wasn't all fairy tales. Behind the dazzling dribbles and clinical finishes was a player who struggled with consistency, fitness, and a demanding style from the Premier League. Today, we're diving into the highs and lows of Andrey Arshavin's time at Arsenal, the brilliance that he brought, and also the challenges that he faced. Before Arsenal fans fell in love with Arshavin, he was already a star in Russia, playing for Zenit Saint Petersburg. Arshavin wasn't known for his incredible vision, his dribbling, and his ability to change the game in an instant. His performances at Euro 2008, where he led Russia to the semi-finals, caught the attention of Europe's top clubs. Arshavin dazzled with his technique, earning praise as one of the tournament's standout players. But it was Arsenal who would finally secure his signature in the January transfer window of 2009, paying a then club record fee of £15 million for this little Russian. Arshavin arrived in North London with high expectations. He was the little magician that Arsenal fans have been craving, a player who could create something out of nothing. Arshavin wasted no time in making an impact at Arsenal. In his debut match against Sunderland, he immediately showcased his creativity and flair, providing the spark that Arsenal's attack had been missing. And then came April 21st, 2009, a day that would go down in Premier League history. In one of the greatest individual performances in the Premier League era, Arshavin scored 4 goals in a thrilling 4-4 draw against Liverpool at Anfield. It was a display of clinical finishing, perfect positioning, and audacious skill. Arsenal fans were in awe. They had a new hero. Arshavin ended his first season with 6 goals and 7 assists in 12 appearances for Arsenal. His ability to play in tight spaces, his powerful shots, and his vision made him an instant fan favorite at Arsenal. Arsenal seemed to have found a player who could bring them back to the top of English football. But, as is often the case in football, things didn't always go according to plan. Arshavin's early brilliance gave way to inconsistent form in the seasons that followed. Despite his talent, Arshavin struggled with the physical demands of the Premier League. At times, he looked disinterested on the pitch, criticized for his lack of defensive work and his tendency to drift in and out of games. But even during his dips in form, Arshavin would produce moments of magic, like his stunning strike against Barcelona in the 2010 Champions League, which gave Arsenal a famous victory at the Emirates. Yet his overall influence began to wane, and his goal tallies actually dropped over the years. His fitness became an issue, and his position in the team was never truly defined. Was he a winger? Was he a number 10? Or was he a second striker? Arshavin himself actually admitted that he found it hard to adapt to the tactical discipline that was required under Arsène Wenger.
As soon as the player doesn't play fantastically well, he's criticized in the first. We all know that, but I'm very happy with Arshavin. I personally believe he's a great player. He's going through a period that is a bit more difficult at the moment, but he works very hard in training. His attitude is fantastic, and I'm desperate to keep him.
By the time Arshavin left Arsenal in 2013, the numbers told a mixed story. In his 144 appearances for the club, Arshavin scored 31 goals and provided 46 assists. On paper, that's a respectable record, but for the player of his talent, well, many felt that he just never quite reached his full potential. One of the biggest criticisms aimed at Arshavin was his inconsistency. On his day, he could be unplayable, running past defenders, creating chances, and scoring from impossible angles. But too often, those days were far and few between. Arshavin himself struggled with fitness issues and admitted that the Premier League was more physically demanding than he had anticipated. By 2012, Arshavin had fallen out of favor with Wenger and he was loaned back to Zenit Saint Petersburg, a move that signaled the beginning of the end of his Arsenal career. So, what went wrong for Arshavin? How did a player who lit up the Premier League in his first few months fall so far out of favor? A combination of factors seemed to derail his time at Arsenal. Injuries played a big part, and Arshavin admitted that he struggled to maintain his fitness throughout his time in England. He was often criticized for his weight and often looked lethargic during games, which led to frustration from both fans and pundits. There was also an issue of confidence. As his performances dipped, Arshavin became a shadow of the player who had taken the Premier League by storm. He admitted in interviews that he felt the weight of expectation on his shoulders, and it began to affect his mentality on the game. And then there was the question of tactics. Arshavin was a creative free spirit, but Wenger's system required discipline and hard work on the ball, something that didn't always suit the Russian style of play. Many within the footballing world have weighed in on Arshavin's time at Arsenal. Former teammates have spoken about his incredible talent, praising his technical ability and his footballing intelligence. Arsène Wenger himself admitted that Arshavin was one of the most gifted players that he has ever coached, but also one of the most frustrating. Fans remember Arshavin for his moments of brilliance, but there's also a lingering sense of what could have been. The player who scored 4 goals at Anfield and helped Arsenal beat Barcelona in the Champions League was also the player who disappeared in too many games and never quite found consistency. Despite this, there's no doubt that Arshavin has left a mark in Arsenal's history. He was the club's first big money signing after the move to the Emirates, and for a brief period, he was the player that Arsenal fans dreamed of seeing on the pitch. By 2013, it was clear that Arshavin's time at Arsenal was coming to an end, and he returned back again to Zenit Saint Petersburg, now on a free transfer after his Arsenal contract ended, where he tried to rediscover his form, but the magic that had once made him one of Europe's most feared attackers was fading. He would go on to have a brief stint in Kazakhstan before finally retiring from football in 2018. Arshavin's Arsenal career was a rollercoaster ride, filled with incredible highs and frustrating lows. But despite the inconsistency, Arsenal fans will always remember the little Russian who lit up Anfield, scored breathtaking goals, and gave them hope when they needed it the most. His time at Arsenal may not have been perfect, but it was definitely unforgettable. But the most important part is, what do you think about Andrey Arshavin? Do you think that he is an Arsenal legend? Yes or no? Do you think that his time at Arsenal was a waste? Do you think that he should have moved to another club instead of Arsenal? Or do you think that Arsène Wenger should have found a solution to Arshavin's problems? Let us know in the comments below, and also don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more footballing videos like this. And also remember that you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more football from the Footy Zone.